power and perception. Why is this conversation so important to you, Kelsey?
Power and perception?
Yes.
Or it's something that the team was talking about how we have all these powerful people, or we know these known business people.
Perceived to be powerful,
but behind the scenes, what do people perceive them as?
Okay.
Who are they really?
Okay. Well, I'm ready for this conversation, and I see I got Miss Mallory in the house. How you doing, my sister? I miss you.
I missed you too. Thank you for having me back.
Oh my God, I love you. I'm excited to have you here. And then I have my brother Justin B. Long. How you doing?
JBL.
Good morning. I am happy to be here. Good to
You
see
know,
guys.
we miss you guys so much. We've been gone, really enjoying a little R&R. And birthday celebration. So it's good to be back in the seat. And I think you two are the perfect combination to have this conversation. So as we get started, I'm going to let Brother Carter bring these two in. I just want you to go ahead and say hello to us. Go ahead.
Good morning, folks. How y'all doing this morning?
Look at. You got that.
Oh, man. Welcome to the Love and Victory Show.
Come on,
This is your main man, Brother Carter, man. And wow, it's just good to be back in the studio. Welcome to the show, Justin.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And
that's Mallory.
Miss Mallory.
Yes.
Well, hey, welcome
Hello.
to the show.
Yep, Miss Mallory McGray.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mallory, what's been going on with you? Tell me. I see you moving and doing. You're busy. You got a lot.
I am busy.
Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about what's going on with you.
Right now, I am launching a webinar for all moms who are feeling just kind of overwhelmed in being motherhood, especially with school starting, where you have everybody going from one activity to another and trying to get back in the school routine. That we're going to talk about finding the 3 secrets of finding freedom in motherhood. Mm-hmm. So finding that taking me time is okay and how to do it without feeling guilty.
And the reason I asked you to tell the people what you're doing, I see you launching this, and I just think it's so befitting right now, especially with women and mothers getting back into the swing of things, going back to school, or either getting their kids ready, and just day-to-day life. A lot of times we as women have been told, keep pushing. But a lot of times we have a lot of internal pressures that we don't talk about, and then we hit that wall. And that wall is just, oh my God, it's like the point of no return. So I'm glad to see you doing that. And
thank you.
I'm definitely, even though I don't have any little kids, I'm planning on joining that world with you.
Mm-hmm.
I am
awesome. I think it's good for anybody to not feel burnt out in any capacity that you're serving in, whether you're a mom of kids that are grown or a mom of littles or in the in-betweens. You need to learn that it's okay to step away from wherever you're at and not feel guilty.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I'm excited. And Justin, what's going on with you? What you working on out there?
I'm here to hear that message right there.
That's what I'm talking about. Because, honestly, a lot of times what we end up doing, we internalize a lot of that. And what happens when we internalize it, it's going to come out one way or the other. It's either going to come out good or it's going to come out bad. It's going to come out. And most of the time, it's going to come out on the people that are closest to us. So I think that it is a huge thing what you're doing. And I truly, truly want to be a support and be a part of it and learn and gain from it. So,
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and just get started. Again, let me tell the people a little bit about you, Mallory, and then we'll go to, excuse me. We'll go to Justin and excuse me, and then we'll jump in with Colby Moore.
Choked up, man. You're the host.
I know, right?
I'm hooked up about this stuff too.
I am. I really am. So, Mallory, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about you. I know your 5 words described as charismatic, inclusive, excited, creative, authentic, and honest. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. I am a mom of 2. Under 3, so we're still trying to figure out life. If you see them or hear them running around in a little bit, they're like starting to wake up. But that's my real life. That's me being transparent. I'm also a women's empowerment coach. So I help moms just find freedom in motherhood and finding how to set their personal brand, because whether you have a business or you don't, you are your own personal brand and what you believe in and those core values and everything like that. So I help women find what that is to have a strong foundation, especially as the world is always shifting. And I don't know, maybe we should flip. It feels like every day you've got to flip 180 and decide what you're doing. And you never really have solid footing on what you're doing. So that's what I help you do. Help start a foundation for the rest of your life that will help keep you grounded no matter what's going on outside.
All righty then. And Justin, I have so many words that I can use to describe you, but there's one that sticks out best to me. And I have to say faithful. Justin, you are.
That's not on there.
It's not on there. I don't have to have that on there. That's how I describe Justin. I describe Justin as faithful. And then I think I'll throw one more word in there, loyal. So those two things to me embodies who Justin is to me and to the Love and Victory Show. So Justin, you want to tell them who you are?
Well, my name is Justin Long, and I think another word that goes right along with that stuff is overcommitted. And,
okay, I accept that.
The things that can be qualities can also run to a fault, I think.
Yes.
And,
yes.
So I do everything 1,000%, and that's really good for most people and most of the things that I'm trying. But sometimes I go over the edge.
Yeah.
And I'm experiencing a little bit of that right now. My wife and I own a large animal veterinary clinic out here in Florida, and it is a crazy 1,000-mile-an-hour machine right now. And I'm doing that. I'm trying to run my side business of, I make video. I have a video production company, and I'm doing a big project for a new client, and I'm still trying to write another book. I'm an author in my spare time, quote unquote. And I'm frying. Like I'm starting to get raveled at the edges. So I really think the topics of self-care and being aware of what your boundaries are really important. So I do try to be committed and loyal and dedicated, and I do want to bring my very best to the table. But I am learning about boundaries and when to stop and take some time for me.
Yeah,
it's so important.
You try to learn that valuable word, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And that was a conversation that we had a few months about a month ago, 2 months ago. That word is so important. It's so important. And then Mr. Colby Moore.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on.
Okay, tell people a little bit about you.
I am a 23-year-old man from New Orleans, Louisiana, from Slidell. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Southern Mississippi, and most importantly, I am an intern for the Love and Victory Show. And I just recently relocated out here to Houston 2 weeks ago, I believe. And yeah, I'm pretty much just learning as I go.
All right. Now. Well, we're excited to have you here. What I love most about you, well, actually, just give me 2 words that describe you best.
Understanding, because I think because I'm one of those people that understand. I'm probably one of the best people that you'll ever meet, and as a friend, and to have as a friend, because I'm very understanding, and I really care about what people are going through, or whether it's good, whether it's bad, or other. I try to understand everything, because you need that now in this day and age. Also inquisitive. I want to know something. I always want to learn. I always want to know stuff, whether it's about whether it's a hobby I'm going to, whether it's people I meet, whether it's interest I'm in. I'm always want to know something. I always want to learn.
That's good.
That's excellent. Excellent. Oh my God. Look at the baby. He's awake. Let me see.
Yes. One of the 2 is awake.
Okay then. Well, you're gonna have a support there this morning. All right, well, we're just going to jump on in here and start off with the show. Brother Carter, you have anything that you want to add before we get started? We are just going to start, and we're going to take the first segment is going to be power.
Okay.
And the question I'm going to throw out there that I think we're going to just dive with is, what does it mean to have power? And I think I want to start with Justin on that. What does it mean to have power, Justin?
That's a really hard question to answer for yourself, I think. And I was confused about that for most of my life. I learned my definition of power from my dad. And, I felt that power meant that you can control other people and bend everyone to your will, and that you have absolute control over everything around you. And it wasn't until I was 40 years old that I finally learned that has nothing to do with power. That has to do with insecurities and trying to dominate to make yourself feel better, right?
Right.
So real power for me is understanding what I believe in and not wavering from that regardless of outside pressure. It's being strong to my core values and just being true to who I am no matter what.
No matter what.
That's good.
That's very good. And Mallory?
I'm going to kind of piggyback off of Justin a little bit. I think in our minds, somewhere we've learned and been conditioned that power is that. Like, you think of kings or rulers or things like that, people that are really wealthy, you kind of look at them sometimes and think they have all this type of power. And instead, we all have our own internal type of power, but what that looks like is different to everybody, where it could be that you're an empath and feeling all of that emotion and really taking that on and owning what that is. It's really owning your and knowing who you are and what it looks like to you, because it's defined differently when you break it down and what it means to you and how you're going to share that to the world is exactly what it is. So I agree with Justin in that it's taking ownership of who you are.
I think a lot of times what we do with power, as it said, is sometimes it's a false power. Some people think that being powerful means that I'm running something. But I like to look at it a little different and say my power comes in on how I treat people, how I show up every day, how I express my passion. Power is not about ruling over someone. That's what I feel. I definitely don't believe power is ruling over someone. People use it to be something negative, but in my heart of hearts, I really do believe that it's something we can use it for something positive. What about you?
I'm still trying to figure out what power is for real, because growing up, of course, I've always learned that power was strength, and also known that power was like kings and rulers and ruling over people pretty much. So kind of to agree with what Mallory said mostly, but now I'm figuring out that power, like having power in your words, power in your actions, it's kind of more internal. So I'm still figuring out what it means to truly have power. Honestly, so that's what I think about.
I like that. That's a deep thought. Brother Carter, you have anything to say on that?
Yeah, I believe true power is being able to submit or surrender your own will to a higher power of a will, should I say, basically to the will of God, being able to submit your way to his way. And I think that's the greatest power you can have in life, is to give your life to Christ and to be able to make adjustments for his way instead of your own way. Because in actuality, we don't have any power at all.
Okay.
We can't create anything. We can't do anything.
Come on now.
We can't do anything outside of what he's able to do. So.
Okay. All righty then. And in your own description, what does power look like to you? In your own description, what does power look like to you, Kelsey?
What does power look like? Well, I'm going to answer the first question you had asked and then try to get to that question.
Okay, go ahead.
So, in my opinion, power is the ability to influence or the behavior of others. And we pay attention to powerful people because we know they can create change. And we like to know who's capable of creating that change. So powerful people influence the behavior of others, change institutions, and make big impacts in businesses. That's what I see power as.
Okay. And my second question?
Oh, yeah. Okay. And power, in my opinion, it looks like a powerful person to me is someone who's actually God-fearing and knowing who they are and their worth and what their passion is and what they want to do on this earth. And that's the most powerful being to me.
Okay. Okay. Justin, you want to jump in on that?
Sure. This is another role that I've been growing into for the last 8 years. But as a business owner, we have a team of 12, and it's my job as the leader to make sure that everyone else has all the resources they need to do their job, and to create a culture that represents who I am and who my wife is, who we're trying to be as a business, who we are as individuals, and trying to balance that with this childhood belief that I need to dominate all these people or rule them, control them in some way. I had to get past that in order to be a real leader and to exert true power, which is to shape the company and impact our community. And I do that by serving the people that fall under me. And that's what it looks like for me is doing all of the little things that don't have a name that need to be done in order for everything to happen every day. And doing that with a smile and a good attitude, and not feeling like, I have to sit behind a big desk with a big chair in order for people to fear and respect me in order to have power.
So in other words, power comes in, just getting in there, rolling up your sleeves and making things happen.
That's it.
All right, then I like that. Mallory, you want any of that?
I agree with Justin. As he was talking, I was just like, oh, wow, that is exactly what I think. It's somebody that's using their resources and like really getting in the trenches, but also using their words and all of their experience and who they are to raise up people, not to tear them down. Right. It's empowering people to do whatever it is that they want to do in their life. So that's what I think of power.
Okay. I want to throw this question out to our listeners as well. Please chime in. We really want to hear from you. This conversation is not just a question and answer conversation for us on the panel to have. We want you guys to be a part of this as well. Mm-hmm. So if you have any part that you want to add, or if you disagree with something that we're saying, please, by all means, we want to hear your comments. And we want to share and have dialogue. A lot of successful people today believe that money gives them power. Do you believe money equals power?
Mm.
Anybody?
I do not.
Okay. No, I would agree. Why do people equate money to power?
I think it's what you're shown in media. It's what you see in movies and TV and the news and all over the internet. It's that, when you have the ability to not be controlled by other people because you got enough money to do whatever you want, I think people equate that with having power. But I disagree.
I agree 100%. We just got a comment in, and I want, Kelsey, if you could, from Ms. Guillory. Could you read what she just said?
Absolutely. Go to the bottom of the screen.
They're coming in fast and furious, huh?
They are.
They're coming in very fast and furious.
Yes.
Ms. Hillary said because of the material things they can buy.
Yes. I think she said a little more. Power is knowing your own weakness. Power is your mind. I can't see. Mindset. What else is she saying there?
So sorry.
There you go. Can you see it?
Okay. Power is knowing your own weakness. Power is your mindset. You're willing to learn, willing to teach without judgment. Power is leading, not dominating, but to lead yourself and others into greatness.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely love that comment and that statement. That's so true. But Brother Carter, you want to give me something on that?
Well, I think people have perceptions of what power look like. You can see someone that's very intelligent, and you can have a perception that they're powerful. You can see someone with lots of money, and your perception is they're powerful. But that becomes something that an individual own perception of what power look like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. So for you, what you're saying is we tend to want to.
We make other people powerful.
That's deep.
By
what we see, that's
what they are saying within their own self. Okay. Within themselves.
Okay. That
makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Go ahead.
What I take for like money, why people think money equates to power is, personally, I think people they won't listen to like a regular Joe on the street who knows something, who has knowledge. They'll look at a Jeff Bezos, they'll look at a Bill Gates or somebody who's made a bunch of money. They'll pay all this money to go to like a TED Talk to listen to these people who made all this money and who think they have all this knowledge and they think they know what power looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's not always like that. These people are human just like the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they're trying to figure out their own power if they have it. They're trying to figure out what power is for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I feel like people equate money to power, because again, a regular person on the street is not like, if I have the knowledge or if I do have the power to tell them.
So we'll discount you because you're regular Joe, but we'll go over here to Bill Gates. Wait. We don't want to hear you. We want to hear what Bill has to say. When in fact, you may have just as much knowledge, if not more knowledge in that same. I like that. Okay. I want, Brother Carter, I'm going to turn this over to you here. Actually, not Brother Carter. I want Miss Kelsey.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Kelsey.
For the last question?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, before I answer that question, I have a question for everyone in this room.
Okay, go ahead.
So if you were awarded all the money in the world, would you stay the same or would you change?
Ooh, can I jump on that?
Go ahead.
I've actually thought about this for a little while. It's kind of been mulling in the back of my mind. But and I listened to a podcast recently that talked about it, that no matter how hard you don't want to, it's going to change you in some way. Mm-hmm. That you're going to think, okay, now I can do A, B, and C, or I have the money to buy X, Y, and Z, whatever that looks like. It will change you a little bit. And also, depending on the amount, right, you're going to have people that will want to glean into that and be like, hey, can you help us with this or with this? So it's going to change you one way or the other, but how it looks perceptively, no matter if you want it to or not. But it's the attitude that you take toward it, being more of a good steward, I believe, that will make the change less dramatic and less over time being like, oh, now I've become this person, I've turned into this person I didn't want to be. It's being that steward over it that's going to make that change.
I agree.
The truth of the matter is other people will make you change. Mm-hmm. Once you get all this money, all of a sudden, you have your own family members that'll make you change. Mm-hmm. Change your address. Change everything, your last name, because they're gonna be.
They coming for you. It's a constant need.
Oh man! So,
I would have to agree as well. Yes, I would change, but I hope that change would not be for something bad, but for something good.
You would like to say you're not going to change; you're going to remain the same.
But
the truth of the matter is,
I know I'm going to change because I'm going to have,
because your zero is going to change.
Well, where much is given, much is required. Yeah. So I am with that exorbitant amount of money that's going to come my way. I would think, being the person that I am and the core person that I am, I would have a responsibility to be able to wanting to help someone else, which I'm going to have to change my mindset, because I won't be able to help everybody, and I would have to have a process in place to be able to help people where I'm not going stone crazy, if that makes sense, because there's so much need out there.
See, I've done pretty good. I was a 100-aire, and now I'm 1,000-aire. And, I haven't changed much.
But if you did y'all catch what he just said? Did y'all just?
I'm trying to get to the 1,000.
Yeah, I was 100 there, now I'm 1,000 there. I haven't changed.
You haven't changed yet. So you think you'll be all right if you become a millionaire?
Become a 10,000 there. Yeah, I might stay the same.
Okay. Justin, what about you?
I think that money gives you the opportunity to follow your passion.
Yes.
A lot of people are trapped in jobs because you got to have money, and whatever it is that you're passionate about might not be an income generator. So I think in that regard, change can be a good thing. You can stop doing what you have to do and start doing what you want to do. For me, I'm fortunate enough to have already been able to do what I'm passionate about. So I think I would keep doing what I'm doing. I don't do it for money. I think if your sole purpose in getting up every day and doing what you do is for money, then it's a wasted life.
Yes.
So, I think it's important to be passionate about something and to be able to pursue that. So unlimited funds would change a little bit about how much I can give away and how much I can, impact the communities where I think that help is needed. But I don't think it would change who I am.
I agree.
I think you just expressed what power is right there, Justin.
Yes. If you could, can you read Michael's comment on here?
Absolutely. Michael Ziegler said, money is equated to success and influence, which affects the perception of power. Screen just froze. Power is not what an individual can do. It is more of what others allow them to do. Power is given, not attained.
Okay.
Well said.
Okay. Well said. What y'all think about that comment that he just raised? I mean,
I think that was perfect.
I would agree. I absolutely would agree. Okay.
We have some more comments. Can I read them?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Ursula Brown said, mouthful, to whom much is given, much is required. Ebony Guillory said, I just got in the Thousandaire Club.
Okay, welcome. And I think someone just said a beautiful comment. You want to read about those babies?
Oh, yes. She said, look at those babies.
Thank you.
I tell you, still a mom and still showing up and being present is so important. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys so much. I want to ask this question that kind of goes with what we were talking about early. Does great power come with responsibility? Think about that. Does great power come with responsibility? And I want to ask Mr. Justin to kind of give us some dialogue on that. Does great power come with responsibility?
I think that it should. I think that it doesn't always. It's up to the individual to have enough sense of responsibility to do what we would think that they should do with that power. And sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. I think that people who act irresponsibly with their power impact a lot of people around them. And sometimes that's, at the local level. I worked for a guy who was just wildly insecure and had to just own everybody all day, every day, so he could feel good about himself as a boss. But when you put that on a big level, Steve Jobs, not a popular guy, bad attitude, hard to work for.
Right.
You put that into a leader of a country. You got somebody running North Korea that locks everybody down and controls everything that they do. And I think that those people have great power. There's no denying that. But whether they live up to the responsibility we hold on to them is up to them, and it doesn't always happen.
Well, wouldn't you think that a person that is always needing to exert their power over someone, it's really an individual with, and I hate to say that, they have some esteem issues going on with them. They have some insecurities about themselves. Because to me, real power, you don't have to walk around trying to dominate another person.
That's right. We call that an egomaniac with an inferiority complex.
Come on now. And we have that.
You can put Donald Trump's picture up there.
Oh, Lord, y'all. And this radio station is not responsible for the words that are coming out of Brother Carl's mouth, but y'all are used to them. So true, though. Anyway, you have anything to say on that, Mallory?
I 100% agree with Justin on that you have people that feel the need to, and I think that if we're responsible of our power, that we won't feel the need to because we're sharing it with, like we've said, being back in the trenches. So I agree with what Justin said.
Yes. All righty. It looked like Colby. Colby's ready to jump in over here. Come on, Colby. I love it.
I actually love this question because there was a statement or a quote that was similar to it that I heard in a movie when I was young. It was called "With great power comes great responsibility," and I always thought about that statement because, well, it came from the movie Spider-Man, so that's why I kind of remember it all these years. But when I got older and I started to think about that, I'm like, the guy who said it, who was Uncle Ben, the character who said it, I thought about it and I said, that is definitely something. He wasn't lying about it. With great power does come great responsibility. Because however you define power, whether you think that you're ruling somebody or if you're strong or if you're just very influential, that responsibility comes with it. Because you look at people like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they had a responsibility to the people because they were very influential, they were very powerful, and they had that responsibility to keep going and keep that message going. So they're definitely with great power does come great responsibility. So.
Okay, I like that.
It should come with it.
Should come with it.
Not everyone take that responsibility on. A lot of people take that great power and lift themselves up.
Right.
And what the truth of the matter is, let's get to the nitty gritty. We make people powerful. It's other people that make other people powerful. Nobody can be powerful on their own. You know, and it's because we like you said, influential. Like a person like Donald Trump or pastors of churches, presidents of big companies. We give them the power to be who they need to be, and because we like to what we gonna put them on a
pedestal, lift them up, like look at
And when we lift them up, and it's just like the ex-president, and this man has gone crazy with this huge following that he has, and he feel like he can do and say and go anywhere he want to go in life, because he know that the people are going to be right there to support him and follow him, and so he's very, very powerful in that fact,
and in that power that's
given him,
that's negative power. Wouldn't you say he has negative power, or is it?
I don't know if you're going to call it negative or not.
He's using it negative, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a better way of putting it. All right, Miss Kelsey, I see you want some of it. Come on.
I actually have a little short story. So that saying, with power comes great responsibility, that is true. I'm not going to say, okay, this is actually kind of off.
That's okay, say it.
I'm going to say it anyway. So I remember one time when I got in a wreck when I was around like a freshman in high school, I had got money out of that wreck. And once I got a hold of that money, I was not responsible. I'm not saying money gives you power, but once you get that some kind of like money, it changed me, and I became
irresponsible.
I started buying random things. I was just all over the place, but thank God I stopped like midway and saved half of that money. I was like, okay, I need to actually consider what can I do with this. Maybe invest in it or something like that, or hold it onto it and not spend it so much. But yeah, great. With power comes great responsibility.
That gave you power because you had money?
No, I wouldn't necessarily. Yeah. I'm not going to even say that. I was 16 at the time, so yeah, it gave me power.
You felt in your head. Yeah. Yes, you felt powerful.
I was like, I got money. I'm powerful. Nope.
I kind of had a similar, because I worked during the pandemic. When I kind of got my first paycheck, I kind of felt a little bit of power. You did? At first.
You felt real good, huh?
Yeah, because I'm like, it was my first real work check.
Okay.
And I kind of felt a little powerful, and I had to chill and I had to check myself at
All
first.
All right, then. If you could you read these last two comments? One from Ebony and then the other one from Kiara.
Absolutely. Ebony said, the problem is some of us trend to lift wolves because of their sheep clothing. And then from Kiara Brown, she said, accepting responsibility is very crucial for successful people because it helps you work through your mistakes without being weighed down by regret, guilt, or shame.
Okay. Read that one more time.
Absolutely.
That was pretty deep.
He said, accepting responsibility is very crucial for successful people because it helps you work through your mistakes without being weighed down by regret, guilt, or shame.
Let's dig in that statement, if you can. I really think that that's pretty deep because accepting responsibility. Let's talk about that because a lot of times with power, most of the time with power comes responsibility and acceptance. So, Justin, you have a business. With that business come a lot of responsibility, and you and your wife have a lot of power in your hand. Do you find sometimes the most difficult thing to say to someone, because you're servicing and helping people when they bring their animals to you guys, they are in a desperate state. Do you feel sometimes that it's difficult to say no when, or I can't do something, because sometimes it can be a financial hardship? How do you deal with that?
It is very difficult. And I think there are a lot of aspects to being a business owner. There's a perception when you look at other people that everybody knows what they're doing and nobody ever makes mistakes when the people that are, quote unquote, running the show. And so the farther I go in life and the more I get into the business world, the more I realize nobody knows what they're doing. Everybody's making it up as they go. But until you know that, you hold yourself to an impossible standard. And so, that ability to make mistakes publicly, make mistakes where other people can see you fail, and then you just, get back up and keep going is so important. And I think that's a life skill. That's something that every kid should learn how to do, is to follow that Thomas Edison quote that, I haven't failed, I've tried 10,000 things that didn't work and I kept going. And learning that everybody fails, that's how you learn, is from all these mistakes, and to not beat yourself up about it. I didn't have those skills for a long time. I had to learn that as a 45-year-old man. But I think that, when you're in a position of leadership, I hate using the word power and authority and all that, because I have a negative connotation attached to that stuff. I was a victim of people who abused that. But I think you have such a responsibility to fail publicly and gracefully and show other people how to try something that doesn't work and to keep on rolling with things. That's something that everybody needs to do in life, and so few people ever talk about it.
Well, I think one of the things that I tend to feel that is crucial, just like you're saying, being a business owner, and when you have a team of people around you, it's also important to be vulnerable, because they need to see you as a everyday human. They need to see the strength in your leadership skills, but they also need to see you vulnerable, because they're already afraid. They have a lot of things going on with them. They're trying to figure things out, and that is some that are older and some that are younger. And so I think as a leader, what a good leader is also being vulnerable too, where they feel comfortable coming to talk to you.
That's right.
And I think that in itself is powerful. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Can I jump in on this too, really fast, Val?
Come on.
With this quote, I keep reading it, and one thing that sticks out is accepting responsibility is very crucial, which it is, but also accepting accountability for that as well. There needs to, for when you get to a point of being successful in that business owner or just wherever you're at in your life, just having those check-ins, so it doesn't turn into the type of power that you don't want it to be. Making sure you have somebody that's keeping you accountable and holding you to that responsibility, because when it gets like Justin owning business, me owning business, I don't have employees yet, but Justin having employees, it could be like, oh, well, it was my fault, but it really wasn't. So I'm going to put that on somebody else and put that blame somewhere else. Accepting responsibility is part of that, taking accountability for what it is that you're putting out in the world.
Yes. That's so true. That's critical, and just owning your stuff instead of looking somewhere else to place the responsibility on. It starts and stops with you.
That's called great leadership right there.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my first year running this vet clinic, I didn't understand the cycle of what a year of business looks like. So I learned later that we make more money in the spring than we do in the fall. But I spent all our money by midsummer, and then we were broke in the fall. We didn't have enough to make payroll. And I had to own that. I did that. That was my failing, my mistake, my misunderstanding. And I think we handled it well. We talked about it. We had a meeting. Everybody got paid except for us. We fell on our sword on that one. But that was a learning opportunity for me and how the business works. But it's also a learning opportunity for everybody to see that, even when even the boss makes mistakes sometimes, and sometimes big ones, whoppers.
Big ones, major, yes.
And it's okay. We're still in business.
Yeah. And Kelsey, you want to jump on that before I move to the next half of this conversation?
Before I do, I'm going to say this quick comment by Angelic, accountability, responsibility, and integrity are my pillars to success, is what she stated.
Okay, and we just had another one jump in. Go ahead. They are really coming in. I'm sorry, guys. They are coming. They're enjoying this conversation, and they're coming in fast and furious. Go ahead and read
Miss
out.
Hillary said, it really is at Foxy Brown. I swear I am learning to say it at 45. Like, I really feel bad when I tell others no, even if something I'm really not feeling sad, but true, I am working on it. She's referring to Foxy Brown's comment, how she said curse word. I mean, not curse word. Saying no is almost considered as a cuss word.
Yeah, when in fact, you need to say no.
Yeah.
You have to say no.
Most important word in the alphabet.
Yes, no. Okay, and then Ebony.
But it's the hardest one to say for a lot of people.
But why is it?
People pleasers.
People pleaser.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes you feel guilty because you can't hold the weight of whatever it is. That saying no is like, you're weak. You can't take it.
And I
might
guess,
think less.
and I actually, and maybe it's something wrong. I actually don't struggle with saying no. I have. I think when I was younger, I really had no boundaries. But in my adult life, I truly have no problem with saying no now, because it was actually destroying who I am as a person, because it was so stressful. I was always trying to meet other people's needs, and I was destroying myself at the same time. So now a no just rolls off like this. No. Honestly, no. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
You're not so polite when you say no.
Oh, well, you know why? Because I'd rather live than die. And I had to get to a place that I cannot allow other people's crap to take me out. Because, hey, if I fall out and get sick, they're going to keep going and doing what they got to do. So I had to get to a place that I'm able to say no. Okay, then. Kelsey, go ahead.
Well, back to your comment. Accepting responsibility is very crucial for successful people, because some powerful people don't want that power. And what, like Mallory said, you have to take accountability. Excuse me.
That's okay.
Accountability and all the responsibilities that come with it, even if you don't want that power. Because God chooses his soldiers, and he chose you for that power.
And just some positions in life it just come with power, you know.
Yes.
And you have to use that power in a legitimate way that is not damaging to people that are under you, should I say.
Or working with you.
You know, you have to make sure you're using it to demonstrate how to lead versus dictating.
That's right. That's it right there.
That makes sense.
That's it right there.
Can I
Because
jump in on that?
yes, come on in.
I think there's positional power that when you become the manager over your shift, you have the power that comes out of position. But there's also charismatic power.
Yes.
I think that as a leader, some people have it and some people don't. But you can develop that if you don't have it, and if you do have it, you can make it better. But it's about realizing how your actions impact other people.
Yes.
And being thoughtful and intentional about that, and not just using positional power to bully people, but using your charismatic power to help other people become the best version of themselves that they can be.
And that right there is what is, I think, is needed so much in the workplace.
Well, either you have it or you don't have it.
But again, it's something you can learn.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I think you are who you are. Whether you have power or you do not have power, you are who you are. But those
I disagree.
I disagree, because I think that we all have the ability to evolve.
Right.
I think people stay stuck because it's easier for them to stay stuck in something because they don't want to do the work to change.
They don't want to change.
And so I don't think that they can't. I think that people choose to stay there because they don't want to do the work.
Right.
And so I have to agree with Justin on that part there.
Can I jump in on that too? I agree with Justin on that. I seem to follow the more charismatic power, because I like the people who have the power to like influence in a positive way, like who want to change and influence the world. That's why, y'all, so I was a big I like Nipsey Hussle a lot because the way he was impacting his community and his neighborhood and how he was moving. I actually liked how he was influenced before he passed away. And also people like LeBron James, what he did with the I Promise School back in his home state. I like the charismatic power because I want to grow to be that. Because I want people to, if I do run something in the future, I want to like inspire people to be their best selves and become better.
Yeah, it's not a boastful power. It's just a charismatic power. Yeah.
I love it.
It's good.
Okay.
We have some comments.
Okay, come on in. I mean, it's hot over here. They are coming in.
I try to display them on the screen so that people can read them, but I'm going to read them out to you. Okay, so Ebony said, back to what you were saying, Ms. Val. I'm getting there, Ms. Val. I just had this conversation with my sister last night. No,
that's right.
And Jason Brown said, with power, you have a great responsibility, not only to yourself and others, but to God to do what's right with your power. And then from Angelic, she said, we teach children that no is a bad word. We learn to people please. Oh yeah, we learn to people please from childhood, which is true. Very true.
And keep going because they got them in there.
More.
Yeah.
And then we have Kiera Brown saying, definitely agree with Nipsey Hussle's answer all the way. And Michael Ziegler said, comfort zones kill potential. Everyone has the potential to have more impact than they exhibit. Society encourages conformity.
Conformity, yeah.
Thank you, Justin. And living below potential.
That's right.
And that comment right there alone, I think if we can just kind of dig in on Michael, and I'm going to let you, Justin, take that one. Because what he's saying that we all really do have the potential. Justin, you want to dig in on that comment a little more?
I do. As human beings, we are a herd animal. And, we're no different than a bunch of sheep or a bunch of deer. Like the center is the safe place to be. And the people that are on the outside edge are the ones that get picked off by the wolves. And if you're going to be a leader and you're going to change something, you got to put yourself on the outside of the herd. You got to stick out of the crowd. And that's a dangerous place to be because, it's not just the wolves that will take you down. It's also the rest of the herd.
Come on now.
For everyone that makes it, there's probably a million that don't because, we got brought down by one thing or another. And it's a scary, scary thing to put yourself out there. We're taught, conformity, to be like everybody else. And, don't raise a ruckus. Go with the flow. We've got a million sayings like go with the flow. Do what everybody else is doing.
Blend in.
Yep. Don't stick out. Stick out like a sore thumb. We got negative sayings for the sticking out things, and we got positive, comforting sayings for being on the inside of the herd.
Well, I think the biggest problem with that is that, people are afraid to stand up and stand out because they don't want the attacks. Well, the attacks are going to come, but I do believe that if you're doing something to better or to help, I think that the attacks won't stick. I think you just have to keep pressing through it. Personally,
it takes a lot of confidence.
It takes a lot of confidence.
It does take a lot of confidence.
Work, and I would hope that before we go in doing something, we've done our homework. And if we mess up, we get back in there. Like you said, you messed up, own it and start over. Keep trying. So
sometimes people not only don't want the attacks, they don't even want the attention that comes with it too as well.
Oh, I like that.
Because I always think of this lyric from Andre 3000. He always said,
"From who?
From Andre 3000."
See, this younger generation is going to teach us older folks something. Who is that again?
Andre 3000. He is a part of this legendary.
Outkast, was it Outkast?
Yeah.
The group Outkast.
Yeah.
The song Miss Jackson.
Okay.
That was a lyric that he always said that I hated all the attention, so I ran from it. And I thought about that. People don't actually want the attention that comes with the power and the fame or whatever they get. People don't want the attacks and they don't want the attention as well, though. So that's something as well to think about.
So why would you think that if your goal is to be a top artist,
sell a million records,
and if your goal is to be the best boxer, to be the best football player, coach, author, why would you struggle with the attention and power that's going to come with it?
Well, I guess people are still trying to break out of their shells pretty much. Just because they're good at something and they gain a lot of fame from it, is some stuff may still be internal that they're trying to break out of their shell. They're to themselves. They don't like being around a lot of people. Excuse me. And pretty much,
it's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just uncomfortability sometimes.
Okay. All right. So
Can I put on that too?
Yes, come on.
Piggybacking off Colby. I think that that's true in that you're trying to break out of your shelf, but you're also at the same time trying to gain that tough skin of being able to shed whatever it is that people are coming at you. We're not really conditioned to have that tough skin coming out and being like really great at something. Even me as a business owner, I'm putting out something that is for probably what I feel like is an untalked topic that is talked about a whole lot, in that moms go through burnout. Moms are feeling like they have more potential. Again, going back to that potential, we're living within our comfortable space because getting comfortable in the uncomfortable is hard. And so it's one of those things you have to get the tough skin of people saying like, oh, this isn't real, but them feeling it internally as well. So it's kind of finding that balance, I believe, is in that, and going with what Colby said.
Okay. Brother Carter, you have anything on that? Okay. You're good?
I'm good. Want to read some more comments?
Oh, God, yes, because they are hot this morning. Yes.
Okay. Foxy Brown said, yep, Mike Z, we do have the potential. Most time it's suppressed conformity. I think it's right. And then Ebony Guillory said, yes, we are sticking out. Kiera Brown also said, it can definitely feel uncomfortable, but learning how to get uncomfortable because you get tired of being comfortable of the things you're used to doing.
No, that is...
I love that.
That comment right there. Come on, Kiera. Come through. I love that comment because I think a lot of times, and I really want to talk about that a little bit, because people are comfortable with just doing what they are doing, because to go and, like she said, you got to be uncomfortable with being comfortable or getting out of your shell. It's okay. Getting on this radio platform, I was petrified. This is not something I ever thought about doing. It was never a desire. Openly talking to people was not something. I'm actually a very shy person. Brother Carter is a person that is a more outgoing person. You are. I think you're more of a people person than I am.
No.
Well, I beg to differ. But anyway,
I'm just a little more friendlier than you are.
Oh gosh, whatever. I know that I had to. This is nothing but God, because to be placed in this, and I take it very serious, to be placed in this position, to sit on a platform and to pour into people every Saturday, I know it's nobody but God. So I take it very serious. So what we're talking about, what we're sharing, and who's on this platform is important. So, you just gotta.
Yeah. So you're not basically out here driving a car on your own, something that you made up in your mind you wanted to do, and so now you're not. So you, excuse me. So you surrendered, like I said earlier in the show. You surrender to the will of God. God has given you a vision to do something. Now you can walk through those doors the way you're walking through comfortably, because you know you're not doing it on your own.
Right. And I'm not uncomfortable doing it. I think about it, and we're going to take this conversation just talking about being uncomfortable. The first time I came to this radio station to meet with, here at Raise the Praise, to meet with one of the owners, and she just threw me on the mic. And I was sitting in a seat right where you were. She was sitting over here on the board. And we're talking. I thought I was just listening, going to listen to her, and then we're going to go off and talk. And she literally turned my mic on and started asking me questions. I literally froze. But it was so funny how she handled, I'm going to say God handled me, and then she handled me. It was really, they allowed me to get out of my own head, out of my own space, and I talked freely. So I think that when you have a calling And when you get out of your way and you just trust the process, everything kind of just flows. So I don't know. I don't know why I went there, but
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is when you use your platform, you have to, when you have guests on the show, you have to get them relaxed and comfortable to be able to speak vibrantly and openly as you want, like she did with you.
yes, you just have to just be you. You know, don't come. This is a no judge. Even I love listening to the comments and reading the comments, because even doing something like that, where you're putting your words out there in the universe for everybody to see, can also be something that one would judge, or come back and disagree. I think it's bold. I think it's beautiful when you are opening yourself up and trying to help someone else. Let's get these comments, and then we're going to take.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Have you ever felt powerful, and what did that powerfulness look like?
I don't know what you mean.
Have you ever felt powerful in your life, and what did that look like?
Oh,
Colby, come on.
I get
Have you ever felt powerful? Yeah, I'm gonna give an example. I used to be a pretty good basketball player, and when I put them buckets on them boys, I felt very, very powerful doing that, man. You can't stop me out here. So I had a great sense of power when I was up there playing that basketball, and I really felt powerful right there. And that's what I'm getting.
that's the question you're asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I actually have felt powerful recently. Before I graduated college, I was producing like a college TV show, like a news show, and it felt very powerful. Because it was a whole team that we had pretty much, and pretty much I had a partner, but like I was putting the videos together. I was doing directing. I was putting videos together, putting ad spots there in certain places, and it felt very powerful too, because it was a lot of nights I had to stay up to like 3 a.m. to put all this stuff together with doing schoolwork. And then when we shot the next day, it felt very powerful, like doing the directing, counting down, telling the anchors how to read this, what camera to look at, how they're doing. It felt powerful at that time.
Seeing the end result of
Seeing the
everything.
result, too.
Right.
Okay. All righty. Anybody else want some of that? Question, Justin?
Yeah, I'll speak on that. It's been a constant evolution for me, but when, we were talking earlier about coming into a little bit of money and how that makes you feel powerful, when it's the first time that you have means and the ability to do something to change your situation, right? Like that's a sense of power. And
Right.
I don't think it's real power, but when you've never had anything, it's easy to confuse it with that, right?
It's yes.
As I got older, I got into a band when I first quit drinking. That became how I filled my time, and to be able to stand on a stage and have people look at me and listen to what I had to say and the music that we made and songs that I wrote, like all of a sudden, people were paying positive attention to me, and that made me feel powerful. And later on in life, when people started reading my books and I make contributions to our business and our community that impact other people's lives, that gives me a sense of power. But it's not really power. I think it's a sense of accomplishment. And when I really identify it, like I have made something that other people find useful and appealing and valuable. And that's a really good feeling. And I don't know if that's power or not, but it does impact people, and that's an important thing.
Well, I would say it's power, because anything that is going to impact the individual or individuals, I think can be powerful, whether good or bad. So I think it's powerful. All righty.
And you don't want to mix up because power and confidence can
Easily
get
be
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about playing basketball. And I was very confident, and I knew that I could make the baskets when I needed to. And so it gave me a sense of power, but it was more confidence
than anything.
Being able to.
Yeah. I have an example to kind of go off of what Brother Carter said too, of mixing up confidence and power at the same time. I planned an event and it was slated to go for like 2.5 hours. And I got it done in like an hour and a half. I was really proud of myself, and everybody's praise of like, thank you so much for making us end early really boosted me up. And it was kind of like, I can do whatever I want for the rest of this time. Like, it's going to be great. And it changed the way I handled the rest of the event. Like, I don't have to answer to anybody because I just did a killer job, rather than saying thank you and really jumping in and finishing it, doing my part. But it was just like, okay, now I'm like, my hands are off because I did it and I crushed it. I was the best. And like, I took it that wrong way.
Wow. Yes. Kelsey, I know we have to go, but I want you to read those comments. If you could start up with Karen Rain.
Absolutely. We'll back up quickly.
Yes.
As a leader, we must remember production through intimidation never works with power. We must encourage, not discourage. That's what Karen Rain.
Right. That's my mom, actually.
Oh, really? Wow.
Hi, Mom.
look at your baby. Say hi, Mom. Very good comment. Thank you, Ms. Rainey, for jumping in there.
Ms. Guillory said, being uncomfortable equals change. Sometimes some people take being uncomfortable as a negative, when in actuality, it can be a huge growth. And then Kiera said, I'm a shy person too, Ms. Val. That's what's uncomfortable. But I'm starting to like that, LOL, and speak my truth more. Ms. Brown said, both Val and Mr. Carter are people persons. Each one of their own delivery is different, but welcoming.
All right.
Hey, God bless you.
We got more comments. Let's scroll down. Michael Ziegler said, self-awareness influences how much we value ourselves. This is where our true influence of others' power begins.
Yes.
And then
that's it right there.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Hillary said, I know I am powerful. I am sitting here really considering what my power looks like daily. I just know I have the power, and sometimes it changes throughout the day. Does that mean I'm too busy?
Oh, wow. Deep. I like that. Okay.
And then Miss Tinny Lyon said, in life, you will have to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Oh,
True.
especially especially if you're looking to grow, because
So how do you get comfortable
with being uncomfortable.
being uncomfortable? How does one get comfortable being uncomfortable?
You don't.
You keep doing the things that scare you.
Yes, because that's where the growth comes from. You have to do, if you are afraid to step out of your comfort zone, then you are afraid to grow. You got to keep.
So you cannot be afraid to fall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that right there.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm learning that every
You
day.
cannot be afraid to fall or make a mistake.
I think you can train your brain on that too, because when you start associating being uncomfortable with positive change and things getting better in your life, then you learn to embrace that discomfort, but you have to train yourself for it.
Yes.
True.
I love this one comment before. I know it's.
But the whole trick, before you go there, the whole trick, I imagine, being comfortable with being uncomfortable is when you do fall, don't stay down.
Oh, yes.
Get back up.
Yes.
And try it again.
Yes.
Yep.
Am I preaching?
Oh,
Yeah.
I love this comment that Ebony just said. She said, let's get uncomfortable.
That's right.
And that's a great way to end this segment and come right back, because I want to put a pin here, and I'm going to ask this question. What does it look like to get uncomfortable? When we come back, we're going to answer that question, and then we're going to go into the second half of this show, and where we're going to be talking about perception. Really want to dig into that perception, because a lot of times we have a perception of what power looks like, or what I think is going on in your life, or how I think you should live your life. I just really want to dig on that. So we're getting ready to get uncomfortable. So let's get uncomfortable. What does it look like to get uncomfortable?
And please don't repeat what Brother Carter said.
We'll try not to. And I want to say this here. We are the one that gives the best answer to what does it look like to be uncomfortable wins the ticket. And I'm going to put this
Is based on your perspective of what the best
Yes,
answer is?
I'm the host.
Okay.
And so since I'm the host, I'm going to determine who gives the best answer. So everyone can play. And if even with Justin and Mallory, if you guys want to donate your win to someone on the show that have been in, if you win that answer, I don't know who it's going to be. Even you, Colby. I'm going to open it up for everyone, Kelsey. So my question, I'm going to ask again, is what does it look like to get to be uncomfortable? Who wants to start with that? Justin, I love throwing it at you first.
You do.
Catch it, Justin.
I've been on the hot seat today.
Yes, you have.
That's all right. Well, being on the hot seat is a place that I would be wildly uncomfortable being most of my life. But everything that I do today in my life is something that started out being uncomfortable. I remember when I finally got miserable enough with the way my life was to make a change, and I went to an AA meeting, decided I needed to stop drinking and make some changes. Speaking in front of a group of 20 people and just talking about my life is messed up. That was terrifying. Like scared to death. I remember I would soak my shirt through with sweat talking for 2 minutes about my drinking problem. And eventually I got comfortable talking in front of that group of people, and I got a little bit of confidence, and I found out that, I'm not going to get struck by lightning or fall down dead if somebody rejects what I have to say. And that gave me enough strength to do the next uncomfortable thing. And getting on stage for the first time with my band and playing in front of people, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. My voice was shaking, my knees were shaking, but I got through it. And, we made a few mistakes and nobody threw tomatoes at us, and we got hired to come back and play again. And it was okay, So just, from that all the way up to today, trying to be in charge of a business and make decisions that impact other people, and, spending an insane amount of money that I've never seen before in my life. That's become part of my daily life now. The idea of spending $100,000 every month is like makes me queasy in the beginning. Like I couldn't imagine having that much responsibility. And now, that's part of my job every day is to spend a lot of money to keep things going. But every one of those things I had to try, and it was uncomfortable.
Had to try it. I like that. Okay. And Mallory.
I would say uncomfortable looks like to me is having a calling from the good Lord that wants me to share this message to the world, and stepping into being a business owner and to talk about it and to create content and courses and things around it, and just being able to continually talk about what my business is and what my calling is to get that message out into the world is something that was uncomfortable. It did take a lot of trying. It did take a lot of doing. It did take a lot of trial and error of things that worked and things that don't work. But stepping into and really leaning on that trust in God, saying, this is where you're leading me to go. I'm going to try whatever I can. It was uncomfortable at first. And the more I do it, the more it's here. I'm like Justin, being in the hot seat was not a place I was ready to be in a little while ago. And now it doesn't make me uncomfortable anymore. I have my own platforms that I'm comfortable in talking about things like this. So uncomfortable to me means that it's trying trial and error, but never looking at something that doesn't work as you're failing and make that your stopping point. It's saying, I've learned something new and I'm going to pivot and try something new out of that.
I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. Go ahead, Colby.
What's it like to get uncomfortable? Well, it's many things. Trying new things for me also helps me get uncomfortable because I'm trying a new experience. Now I'm very to myself. I'm in my shell and I'm shy. I don't like talking to people I first meet for the first time. But as time, another thing too, as time grows, I start opening up. I get out of that shell, especially if I'm around people for a certain amount of time, and I start to become cool with them. I start to become comfortable with them. I feel like I can kind of talk to them about certain things. That's when I start getting uncomfortable with everything going.
Getting comfortable?
Yeah, getting comfortable.
Being uncomfortable.
Yeah, getting more comfortable pretty much. Okay. With time, with growth. And again, I'm really with people too. Like getting comfortable with people. I definitely need that too because I got a bunch of my friends still at Southern Miss. I didn't know them at first, but then once I got comfortable as time went on and I got comfortable with them, it was so much easier though. Honestly, it felt so much easier. I didn't have to like worry about nothing because if I couldn't do it, I had a friend right there to do. Yeah, I had a friend to go to. I had people to help me out. Even here, when I first started working with you, Ms. Bell, I was very nervous.
Full transparency.
With Kelsey, I would ask Kelsey so many questions about what I had to do, and in the back of my mind, I was like, I hope she don't think that I'm asking too many questions. I hope she don't start losing her patience and all that type of stuff. But it definitely helped. But I feel like time, trying new things, and the people around you, they help you get uncomfortable.
Okay.
And they kind of challenge you to get uncomfortable too as well.
All righty. Miss Kelsey, what's your answer to that?
I don't have an answer, but I can explain my thought process, my feelings towards it. So, when you're scared, you get that nervous feeling that it's like I want to say exciting. To me, it feels like exciting, exciting anticipation. I don't know, just some feeling. It's kind of similar. That feeling for me is kind of similar to being uncomfortable. Like, oh, I'm nervous, I'm scared, but like it's an exciting feeling. Like it's different. It's something you never experienced before. So you want to try it. Part of you want to do that uncomfortable feeling, which is like being scared, in my opinion. So they're both kind of the same. So
okay.
I don't know where I was going with that, but that's
okay, Brother Carter.
I'm gonna just resemble everything everyone else just said and try to sum it up somewhat. What does it look like to be uncomfortable? Would be like trying something that you don't have knowledge of, and you are. I got stuck.
So something that you don't have experience
you
of.
don't have confidence. That's the word I'm looking for. Confidence. You lack confidence in that's what it looks like to me. Being uncomfortable is lacking confidence
in a certain area,
moving into this certain area.
Okay.
And so when you gain confidence, that's when the comfortability comes along, should I say.
Okay, so in order to get that means that you have to stay in there.
You have to stay. You got to keep trying.
Okay,
right.
I like that. All righty, well, we got some comments rolling in, and to be fair to everyone, if you can, Kelsey, go ahead and read them out and read them well.
I will. Okay.
Because drum roll.
So from
the baby said they have a comment too. Go ahead.
So Michael Ziegler said,
I'm uncomfortable.
Go ahead.
Michael Ziegler said growth and change.
Okay.
And Kiera Brown said, when you're uncomfortable, you could be in a situation where things are unfamiliar, which is outside your normal life. You're just getting used to being in situations that are outside your comfort zone. It's a good thing because being uncomfortable is a part of what's required to grow. So if people don't experience that feeling at all, they're probably struggling. And then Kelly Kirby said,
"That's my auntie. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Accepting times when we are uncomfortable and going through those experiences willingly gives us opportunities to produce greatness in things we would not have been able to do otherwise." Miss Guillory said, "It looks like wide eyes, late nights, praying, fasting, looking at others in slow motion, hearing everyone talk, but hearing nothing or hearing too much, presenting information." Ooh, these comments are coming in fast.
Oh.
Skip down to the lowest. Give me 1 second. Presenting information and being scared. It's wrong even though you know it's right. Debating, getting it wrong, then getting it right. More than a time or two, uncomfortable is everything. You feel it. My everything may be different from yours, but it's really the same.
Okay.
Then Jason Brown said, uncomfortable looks and feels like doing what others won't do. Humility, facing your fears, pushing your physical limits, your mental limits, and most importantly, what God bestows on you.
Oh, I'm going to tell you guys all of the comments were spot on it.
Yeah.
All of them were great.
You have a hard job.
Actually, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I want you to put, and I'm going to tell Kelsey, but Kelsey can't share it. We're going to jump to, I want you to, I'm going to tell you where to put a pin at, and we'll come back with the winner of this comment, because I already know who it was, and it was
me.
It was fantastic. Again, guys, thank you. We're not leaving the show, but I'm going to come back in a little bit with the winner. Let me give you something real quick.
Yeah, of course.
Let me see this because I'll forget it. Y'all know I won't remember. And there you go. And if we can, now we're just going to jump to the second. And please, if you guys want to call in, you can call in at 346-355-0100, 346-355-0100. And I will be giving you guys the winner of those concert tickets here in a little bit. Also, Kelsey, while we're doing that, if you can also get the date of the concert. Did I send that over to you? That's my fault. Okay, I'll get that information to you guys in a minute. Mm-hmm. All right, let's just go to perception. How does our perception of others affect power altogether? And this was a question from, who had this? One of the team members, I think it was Aaron. Aaron wanted to know, how does perception of others affect power altogether? And I'm not going to put that on Justin first. I'm going to put that on Mallory. How about Mallory? Come on with it.
That is great. Usually I like Justin going first because it gets me a little bit of time. I was ready. I was prepared for that hot seat. I think that my perception of things that I've seen, obviously it's changed over time as I've grown as a person, as I've gotten older, as I've experienced things, as I've learned things. But my perception of when I look at some people has been like, oh, if you have this type of something, whatever it is, then you have to have either a lot of money, you have a really great job, like everything in your world is going right. When in actuality, it's like Colby had said earlier too, that it could be the facade of it. And I remember in the comments, I can't remember who said it, but it's, if you have the Rolls Royce, they could be completely broke, but they're putting on this facade that
yes,
this Rolls Royce. And so I think what you're putting out in the world in showing up is where that perception has come in. One of my things that I tell a lot of my clients is, right now we live in a time that's, everybody wants you to be authentic and and be exactly who you are. But we've come into this place of being unauthentically authentic, because we still want to put on that facade of, look, I've got everything together. My life is a highlight reel. I don't really have problems. We don't show our problems. We don't show that sort of thing. And so perception now, especially with social media and how fast it goes, is always like, oh, this person has A, B, C, and D. Like, I'm totally failing because I don't have any of that, when really that's their highlight reel. So perception right now is starting to be twisted, because we live by a highlight reel, not necessarily what you see your neighbors have. Or when I was growing up, it was like, oh, my neighbor's got a boat and we don't have a boat. So like, are we failing? Or no, it's just priorities. But now we live by a highlight reel. So that's what I think of when perception's in. You've got to start making more of a guess of, is this real or is this the highlight reel?
Okay.
Right. That was good for the starter.
That was that was really good. Okay.
I hope I did it, Justin.
You did. You took a good swing at that one. That was real good. All right, come on, home run, Justin. Go for it.
I agree 100%, and I think that, you know, the more that I have learned about myself and my own psychology, and the things that have made me tick. I got a message. You guys lost me. Am I still here?
You're here. We hear you well.
All right. So the more I learn about myself and my own insecurities, the more I understand the behaviors of other people. And that has changed my perception of everyone. You know, we were talking about Donald Trump earlier. I recognize that when someone is attacking and shouting and putting down and unable to accept criticism, that is an insecurity hard at work, because I had that myself. You know, I recognize my own behavior in Donald Trump. And let me tell you, that horrifies me. But it also, I use that as a lesson for how I don't want to be perceived by other people. Because I'm not the only one in the world that understands what's going on when somebody's acting a certain way. But people who don't understand what that facade is hiding see that as power and strength and charisma, and that we want to be a part of that movement, and they flock to it. So, how much you understand about yourself and other people totally impacts how you perceive power and all of the ways that it works in the world. And I think that, sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes it's a really bad thing, as we've seen.
Well, I think I like the fact that you were able to see, even out of something bad, you were able to turn it into something good. The fact that you're able to say, I even seen my behavior like Donald Trump's. You understand, and recognize that was not a good behavior to have. So you can see that in him. Have it been, let me leave that alone. I know it. I'm going there. Knowing that part about you and having you mirror personalities, at any time did that make you feel uncomfortable, or how did that make you feel when you see Donald Trump and some of the stuff that he's done?
Oh, wildly uncomfortable. And I think that's why I have such a visceral reaction to any reference to Trump, is because that makes me, I'm wildly ashamed that I was that way once. And that, that the way people see him is the way people used to see me when I was in my 20s, my early 30s. Those were my behaviors. And especially having a little bit of power and thinking that because he's somebody that he can, do things to people that ordinary people wouldn't get away with, bad things to people, the groping women, just the way that he sees other people, like all of that was stuff that I was drawn to when I was young, because I needed validation that I was enough. And that,
my God.
I see that that's what he's doing. Like he is like doing whatever he can to get validation that he's enough. And it's never enough until you believe in yourself. Having everybody else believe in you will never get you where you're trying to go. But I don't think he's ever learned that lesson.
I think that's one of the things that I love about you, that you can always be authentically true.
You took the very words out of my mouth.
You really, I think that's what I love about you, and the fact that you truly put yourself in there, and you were able to relate yourself to someone else's behavior that is a big figure. And then we have a young man like Colby in here talking about perceptions and being leaders and making an impact. And that behavior of Donald Trump's is so negative, but it's making an impact. It's a negative impact. And you see that, and do you have conversations with people about that? Again, that's a perception. Do you have conversations about that behavior?
You bet. I have conversations with anybody that'll listen, because I think that, the more people know, the better decisions you can make. And that's how we change the world, is by teaching each other from our mistakes instead of trying to hide them. Okay. But to our earlier point about Brother Carter thinking that people can't change, I would say that I am nothing like Donald Trump today. And I once was an awful lot like him. So I changed. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah. All right, then. Amen.
I love that. I love that. And was that change, going through that change wasn't easy? Was it scary? I mean, let's talk about that.
Yeah. It's abandoning everything about yourself and just starting from scratch. My goal, because it wasn't hard for me to get started on that, because I hated everything about myself.
Right.
So I was very willing to wipe the slate. Yeah. I wanted a clean slate and a fresh start. And I did that. I completely reinvented myself. And I'm still the same little kid that grew up in a horrible household. I have all those memories, but I use that stuff as places that I don't want to be anymore, ways that I don't want to feel about myself anymore. And I use those as tools rather than as hindrances.
Yeah. Okay. Before I move from this conversation right here alone, would you say that, since you say that you saw the same character, you had the same characteristics as Donald Trump, would you say that he is still a young boy in a almost 80-year-old body, still looking for validation and wanting? What's your perception there?
Absolutely. And if you don't ever do the work to change, you're never going to change. So. If you keep doing the same things are going to happen, and you just get older and older and older, but you're still feeling the same way about yourself and still exhibiting the same behaviors and still trying to get the same validation from the world, because it's never enough.
Okay, I absolutely love that. I know that, and again, that's perception, and I love us having that candid conversation. Kobe, I see you over there. Kobe is ready to just jump in on this mic. He's like, turn me on, turn me on.
Honestly, y'all hit the nail on the hammer. Y'all pretty much covered all the bases I had to say.
So you're good.
I'm actually good.
Okay then, Miss Kelsey.
We actually have some comments.
I know. That's why I'm looking at you. Give it to us.
So Miss Anthony Alexander said the beauty of it is that he acknowledged that this was. Let me repeat that. Yeah. Anthony Alexander said the beauty of it is that he acknowledged that this was his problem and hence comes to the healing.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Ebony Guillory said amen. And she also said, say it, Justin. She also agreed with Mallory's comment on the first question. She said, yes, Mallory, love it. Nail it on the head.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jason Brown said, at Val, social media has a perception, has at an all-time high.
That's right. That's right. I actually want to give my thought on what you were talking about, Justin, just on the perception. I think we perceive people, and it's going back, we perceive people of being, I'm going to take it even in the church. You know, we look at our church leaders. I love my pastor. I love my church. And so this is not an attack on any church, but I'm saying we look at people in authority and we assume that a person in authority has it all together. Mm-hmm. And what they're saying out of their mouths are correct. And sometimes they don't take responsibility for the words that are coming out of their mouth and how they're affecting individuals. I think about our young, we got a show that's going to come up talking about this very thing. We're losing so many of our youth because of the perception of how people view them when they see them coming in, because they're not dressed up a certain way like we're dressed up, like we were taught to be dressed up to go to church. They come in with their jeans or they may have a T-shirt on. Mm-hmm. Then we're over here judging, saying, hey, what's up with this one? Their parents haven't taught them how to come to church. What ends up happening, and I'm talking about how we stereotype things, we're losing so many of our youth to that very thing because of a perception of what we think it is. Justin, if you could you share if you have any comments on your perception of people in church?
Y'all probably don't want to hear most of my thoughts on that.
I do.
I think, speaking to the young people thing first, there is so much information available to young people today that, as recently as 15, 20 years ago, that stuff wasn't there. We had magazines and MTV in the 80s and 90s, and in the 60s and 70s, you had even less than that. Mm-hmm. And today, there is just so much material for people to compare themselves to. Mm-hmm. It's an overload, and we're starting to see the negative impacts of that.
Yes,
but I grew up in church Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, all the way. I think I was 14 or 15 before we ever missed one, and I thought we were going to hell because of that. It was, but my perception of that was built on what my parents told me was important, and I thought that we were the only ones that were doing it right, because I always would see somebody not there on a Sunday morning, once in a while or whatever it was, and I had a really skewed understanding of how everybody else lived their life, and I had this impossible standard of perfection that I thought everybody was upholding. And as I got older, I realized that, these are people and they're not perfect and they're making all these mistakes. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know how to handle that. Like, I remember when I was about 13, 14, I think, the youth minister at our church quit his job, went to work at a video store, and just abandoned the whole thing. And that rocked my whole world. But, the message I'm getting from my mom is that, that guy, just sold his soul to the devil, and now he's out selling porn because the video store happens to sell rated R movies,
Yeah.
But I didn't have any way to comprehend that people are people and that it's okay for people to be people. Mm-hmm. And I've spent most of my life trying to unbuild that impossible perfection standard that I've got for everyone.
Mhm.
But it was entrenched in me so young. Like, that's the hardest thing in the world for me to do, is allow people to be people. But I think when in any community gathering, whether it's a church or a social club or whatever it is, like we have to understand who's sitting around the table with us. And it's human beings, and we have to allow them to be human beings and to be wrong, and that they can still be part of the conversation.
Yes.
And I think that's a really hard thing. But I think you, at the same time, if you're going to be involved in the conversation, you have to be trying to learn and grow and better yourself, and not just sit there rattling your can saying the same thing over and over.
That is it in a nutshell. Anybody else want to jump on this? Kelsey, I'm going to turn to you because you get to get the last question in, and then I'm coming with the winner.
Okay. I'm going to ask this last question.
Your last question.
Oh, it is my question.
It is yours.
Okay. Okay, so here it is. The most powerful people are often perceived negatively. Why is that, in your opinion?
And who is that question for? Who you want to throw it at first?
I want to throw it at everybody, honestly.
Okay, everybody. Brother Carter.
The most powerful people are often perceived negatively.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
That's what she asked.
In your opinion,
In
why?
your opinion, why?
Since we're talking perception, I gather that I don't know. I'm not a hot seat. I'm not a front. I'm not one.
Colby has an answer.
I'm a back up. You know?
I'll catch the alley hoop from you.
We're going to miss from Carter.
I'm gonna try to keep it short too. I think that the most powerful people that are perceived as bad, because a lot of people.
Say that again.
I think the most powerful people are perceived badly because money. I guess things like money, their message. Sometimes people don't perceive that they could be, that they're good because they're in a higher tax bracket. Sometimes they perceive them to be bad because they don't understand what the normal man is going through, what a woman that's working 2 jobs to provide is doing. They feel like they don't understand what normal
they're unable to relate to because they're not struggling with any financial.
Right. And one time I heard in like a video that people can see, like sometimes if you're a millionaire, you're evil, and if you're a billionaire, you're even worse than that. And I don't even and when I heard that, I said, I'm like, that's not true because who's to say a billionaire is not providing for somebody who doesn't have that type of money or doesn't know that, and you never know. They might have came from that and they grew
and they worked hard to get to where
and it became self-made. So that's why I feel like people are perceived as bad because I feel like they don't understand what a normal person or what they're going through.
I like that. Okay, Justin.
No, he nailed it. I think
he really did. He really did.
That we don't have the same problems. If you got money, then you shouldn't have problems, right? I think that's the general perception. And everybody again forgets that people are still people, and that all the money in the world doesn't help you out with a relationship problem with another person.
That's right.
It's a
perception.
And again, you also only see what you're shown. So when you got a celebrity, you see what's on film and on tape. And you're going to see the very best and you're going to see the very worst. And you're not going to see any of the rest of the stuff, the 99% in the middle.
All right.
So I think that's important to remember.
All right, Mallory.
I think that both of them hit it on the head, that you're perceived what is negative because of what you're shown or what you see. And a lot of people, I think, when they get to a certain successful level, only share what little bits of their life. They start to become more private. And so we're only seeing that little bit and judging them based on that little bit.
Okay.
That's the word right there, judging.
Okay, then. Well, we're going to read the comments, and I have to I'm excited about this winner, and I think everybody is going to agree with me when I say who it is. But let's go ahead and read these last comments that came in, and then we're going to go back to.
Okay, so Kelly Kirby said, perception can sometimes limit your view of reality because of the situation they're in momentarily. We must work harder to see others' points of view in order to broaden our own perspectives.
That's right.
That's right.
Michael Ziegler says people perceive the successful and powerful as having done something wrong in order to get to that point. And then Ebony said, I am not rich, but I am powerful. I feel like a celebrity daily, so I can't answer this properly.
I like that. Okay, and I think one more just popped in. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was the last
That
one.
was the last one. Let's go back up to the comment of the winner.
Awesome.
And while we're doing
What
that,
was the question?
you don't remember? Yeah, go ahead. Y'all don't remember what my
No, I
question?
remember the question. I just forgot how it was worded. It's, what does it look like to be uncomfortable?
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
That's exactly what it was. And if we can go back up there, and then Kelsey's also, I was able to get the concert, and she's going to give a little information on that real quick. Have you made it back to the comment?
Yes,
yet?
I did. I'm going to pin it on the screen.
He's going to pin the comment. She's going to pin the comment on the screen. And if anybody disagrees with me, your comments is welcome, but it's not going to change my opinion. Remember, I told y'all I have the last say. Go ahead.
So shout out to the winner, Jason Brown, for his comment. I'm going to read his comment really
Yes,
quickly.
go ahead.
He said, uncomfortable looks and feels like doing what others won't do. Humility, facing your fears, pushing your physical limits, your mental limits, and most importantly, what God bestows on you. That is deep.
That,
Good choice.
that,
So well said.
that was so, I mean, everybody's comments were, wow, spot on it. But when this comment came through, I'm like, he nailed it. That is it. Thank you so much, Jason. Let's talk about way to go, Jason. Let's talk about the concert. You want to share with them the concert?
Yes, absolutely. Raise the Praise 100 will be having a gospel concert September 17th. And Jason Brown, you just won 2 tickets.
To the concert. And I want to say to you guys, we had, again, from the event that we had last week, because the comments kept coming in hot, we're going to go through here. Kelsey's going to, we're going to do a what's that thing? A troll of the numbers and the comments. And the person that gave the most feedback will win a Love and Victory Show with Val t-shirt. And then we have a Bridging the Gap Stride t-shirt that we will give out as well. So Kelsey will get those numbers together, and you guys will see it at the bottom of the screen while we are saying our farewells. So I'm going to start with Colby here in studio. What was your experience like on the Love and Victory Show with Val, and what is a takeaway that you learned?
I loved it. I love being here on the Love and Victory Show. Whenever y'all would like to have me back on, I would gladly be on. Also as well, what I took away from this conversation is to start learning how to be more uncomfortable, because honestly, I'm going through that stage right now. Honestly, I've always been in my comfort zone, and I'm trying to get out of it by doing new things, meeting new people, and having new experiences as well. So I'm learning to be more comfortable and being uncomfortable.
Okay,
Yeah, so.
I like that. Good wrap up. And to Mallory, what's your takeaway for the show, Mallory?
Ooh, there
What
were a
did
lot
you
of
leave the
takeaways.
people with?
I agree with Colby in getting comfortable in the uncomfortable. I think that's something I always need to be reminded of. But also that question my perception, question my first judgment of making sure that I'm not placing something that I'm not seeing something that I'm placing judgment on a person or a situation or something like that. To question what I'm seeing first off, to question that first impression, to make sure that it doesn't stay, and allow myself to change that perception as people change or situations change.
Okay. And Justin, and tell them about you again and how they can find you and become a part of your world, Miss Coach. Go ahead.
I am the CEO and founder of Beautifully Blooming, and I just help. What I say my business name means is we're helping people bloom into the people they're meant to be. So you can find me at beautifullyblooming.com, and everything is there, or on Instagram at Mallory McGarry.
Perfect. Okay. And she is authentically true about being a mother and being a business owner. She, as you can see, she held her babies. She calmed them. She comforted them even when they were ready to have her. And she still stayed present in the conversation. That's what makes Mallory so special. And I love you as a sister, as a mother, and being a friend and a friend to the Love and Victory Show. And
Thank you. I love being here.
thank you. And to my brother Justin, what do you have to say?
This was a fantastic conversation today, and I'm always humbled to be involved in stuff like this. But this is my second time getting to share a conversation with Mallory, and I think that she has so much to bring to the table. And I think my big takeaway today is to remember to fail as publicly as I can, to be the example to those around me, and to just be authentic and not try to put on my best face it's a normal human reaction, right? We want everybody to think the best of us, but to be as real as I can be all the time is my big reminder for today.
All righty then. And to you, Kelsey.
What I got out of this episode today was getting uncomfortable, basically, and I am in that stage too, where I'm starting to learn how to start being uncomfortable. I'm actually in the stage where I'm actually doing the uncomfortable. That's where I am right now, because I've been doing that a lot lately, and I was like, wow, I've grown. It's scary, but it's fun. It's like an exciting feeling. I can't wait to see what's next in my chapter of life.
Okay.
So yeah.
All righty. And Brother Carter.
Man, I just want to thank both Justin and Mallory for being on the show. You guys make life a lot easier on this show, just your presence here. So get that out the way. So I like to say that what I got out of the show today, it's okay being uncomfortable. And it's okay to be uncomfortable. Just don't stay uncomfortable in the midst of being uncomfortable.
Okay.
Learn how to move past the uncomfortable, get the butterflies out of the way, so to speak. It's going to be okay in the morning. So just keep on striving, keep on trying to be the best that you can be in life. And I think you're going to be able to overcome the uncomfortable feelingness of life.
Okay, then. And before I close out, did you get those numbers? Who are the two winners of the T-shirt?
The two T-shirt winners. The most people that's responded to this conversation was Ebony Guillory.
She won again?
Yeah, she had the most.
Oh, my God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right. And wear that T-shirt with pride. We'll get that to you. I'm sure Kelsey could get you all the contact information. And the second winner.
And the second winner was Kobe's mom.
Wow. Okay. Well, and what is her name?
Karen.
Karen. Okay. I want to first tell everyone thank you to our amazing listeners. I thank you so much. I am grateful for each one of you all. But I got to give a special shout out to Colby. Colby is doing that thing called faith, that faith walk. Colby faith walked all the way from Louisiana to Slidell to Houston, Texas. And so we're excited to have you on. Not only did he do the walk to come and do an internship, we threw him in here on the set. And so you knocked it out of the park. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I am truly proud of you. Last Saturday, he was out giving back. He's learning a lot about being around the Love and Victory Show team and L&V. You know that comes with where much is given, much is required. So I'm grateful to have you a part of the team. And to Miss Kelsey, wow, another show. And you are doing an amazing job.
Phenomenal.
I don't even know what to say other than I am grateful that God has placed you in our life. You're going back to school. You already got your stuff in the dorm, and this is the last year, and I expect nothing but excellence from you. Kelsey will continue to give us a phenomenal show. However, I've said to her, and Brother Carter have said to her, her main focus is to get out of school. So we will not have an extended year. You will get out of school. So we're excited. And to Justin and to Mallory, I love you guys. I thank God for you guys. I thank you for being ready in season and out of season. Justin, anytime that we call you, I mean, we don't even give you a chance. And I thank God you don't say no to me ever. But I thank God for you so much. And Mallory, I'm vicariously following and watching you from afar. I am a phone call away. I'm a text message away. If there's anything I can do or Brother Carter can do to support you guys, just let us know. We are here just like you guys are here for us. Amen. And again, thank you, Brother Carter, for always having my back. I don't tell you enough how much I appreciate you.
God bless you.
But I am so grateful. I'm grateful to be on this platform, Raise the Praise 100. Again, you guys, it's coming right behind us. There is another Ike on the mic.
On the mic. Yeah.
They have some great shows on here. Just tune in, keep listening, and keep supporting. And until next time.
I want to thank our listeners also from Raise the Praise.
Go ahead. Yes, that's right. We want to thank our listeners from Raise the Praise 100. Those that don't jump in on YouTube. We have quite a bit that just listen straight from the radio station. Also. Our Facebook. Hey, you go help me out, Brother Carter. All of the people that support the Love and Victory Show with Val. Thank you. And again, next Saturday is what weekend? It is Labor Day. Labor Day weekend, and we will be laboring at the beach that weekend. So we will.
Mr. Paul, just put another show on.
We have to. One of the things that we have made a commitment to is making sure that when there is time for us to be with our family, we're going to be with our family. That's what keeps us a good unit, a solid unit. So we will have and then we got to come back full force. We will have a repeat show on. I wish I can rerun this one because it was so good. But we will not be on air live, but we'll be coming back full circle right after then. And again, let's tell everybody goodbye.
Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for being here. We love you. God bless you all.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Until next time.